Alright, y'all, so we back with another Larry Bird video. I probably got a few more Larry Bird videos in me, and then I got a few more MJ videos in me. And then we got to start moving on to different players from the past, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is all just homework we doing, y'all. And a lot of y'all want me to especially do my homework on Larry Bird, which we've been doing our homework, y'all. I said it, bro, and I'm sticking to my statement. I think Larry had the overall better play style. Like, he could do more than MJ on the court. Obviously, besides defense, I ain't even going to ever say that. You know what I'm saying? He could do more. Like I told you, I already gave y'all the comparison, bro. It's KD and Steph all over again. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I just feel like MJ is greater than Bird at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And as for Bird whipping MJ's ass every time they played, I also have to look at it like this, bro. It's the vet going against the young guy. You know what I'm saying? It happens to every generation, every era. You feel me? MJ was never going to be beating on Magic and Bird in they primes. It was never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You have to be really like that to do that. And shit, no one was able to. And shit, when folks was young pups against MJ, they was not beating him. So we have to understand it like that. I don't want to get on MJ's head too much no more about him never beating Larry Bird. Even though I will still hold at least one round against you. You should have been able to beat him one time. I ain't gonna lie. You should have been able to beat him one time. Okay, maybe you didn't beat him the other times, but one time you could have got it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You could have got it. Just one, bro. You feel me? But anyways, this video is not about MJ. This is Larry Bird's most savage moments. Shout out to Nonstop. We gonna check this out, man. Like I said, there's a few more Larry Bird videos on the way. I've been seeing y'all's comments. I'm gonna check out those videos. So, but I just want to check this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I've ever done a video as for like his savage moments or his dirty talks. I haven't done none of that. So we here now. You feel me? And I know Larry Bird was like that with the mouth. Pause. No diddy. But he was like that. He was talking crazy. But at the same time, he was like that. And that's what I like. I like when you talk crazy. Because I'm the type of person on the basketball court, bro. I don't say a thing. I don't talk. I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't. I laugh. I like to be giggly with folks. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody talks crazy to me. That's when I go in killer mode. I ain't going to lie to you. I mean, I already be doing my thing, but like, when I really snap into it is when somebody talks crazy to me. But this man was talking crazy. See, you got to respect it. You talking crazy and you like that, you got to respect it. But let's check it out, man. Road to 10K.
A part of the reason why Larry Bird was called legend was his brilliance as a basketball player. And the other part were his legendary and vicious trash-talking skills. Bird was a killer on the court.
Was Bird about to swing, though?
His legendary...
Ooh, it looked like he was winding up for that.
And vicious trash-talking skills.
We here.
Bird was a killer on the court. He had a foul mouth, and he wasn't afraid of
foul
anybody.
mouth.
This explosive combination
gosh.
gave birth to some of the most ruthless trash-talking stories in NBA history. So here are the 10 best Larry Bird savage moments.
Let's do it. Shout out Nonstop.
1988 three-point shooting contest.
Oh yeah, this was crazy.
The three-point shot in the NBA was first introduced in the 1979 NBA season, Larry's rookie year. 7 years later, at the 1986 All-Star Weekend in Dallas, the NBA brought the first official three-point shooting contest to the scene. Larry won it, and repeated next year at the All-Star Game in Seattle. In 1988, he was going for a three-peat in Chicago.
Jeez.
Before the start of the contest, Bird entered the locker room, did not speak a word to the other competitors, and just took a good look at him. Finally said, "I'm just looking which one of you is going to come in second." The room was filled with silence, because they all knew what kind of a shooter Bird was. Of course, Larry would go on to win again, proving that he's the best shooter in the world. He won without taking off his tracksuit, famously raising his hand while the contest-clinching three was still in the air. Response to Craig Hodges.
That's fire.
Craig Hodges was one of the best shooters in
I ain't gonna lie.
the
Larry set the blueprint for Curry. Straight up, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing about y'all that be calling me a hater, bro. I would never disrespect the ones that came before, bro. I would never do that. But like, all I be saying is that we can't sit up here and act like players in today's generation aren't more advanced than players in the old generation. That don't mean they're greater than them. But like, yeah, some of these players, I ain't gonna say everybody. I ain't gonna do that, y'all. But some of these players today are 10 times like better as just hoopers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're greater. I'm not saying they have that mentality to go win something. Nah, I ain't saying all that, y'all. And y'all can talk about how the league is all y'all want. I'm just talking pure skill. Forget how the league plays. Talk about skill. A lot of these players are more advanced than the players back then, y'all. It's just the truth. It is what it is. Get with the times. You feel me? I'm not saying everyone, but a lot are. You feel me? And that's why I say, like, Not MJ, but Magic set the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? But that's the one reason why I say Curry's better than him, because at the end of the day, I just seen a compilation of Magic not even being able to go right. You know what I'm saying? Like, or was it not him not being able to go right? Or was it him not dribbling with his left? It was something. It was one of those two, bro. If I find it, I'll add on this video. If I don't find it, y'all won't see it. You know what I'm saying? But Curry, at the end of the day, this video ain't about them. I just wanted to tell y'all, Larry set the blueprint for Curry. You know what I'm saying? He did.
And he competed in a three-point shooting contest with Larry each time Bird was participating. Larry won 3 times, and Craig finished second twice.
Dang.
And Hodges finally took home the title of the best three-point shooter at the All-Star Weekend in 1989. Reporters asked him if the main reason for his victory was Bird's injury and non-participation. Craig said, "Larry knows where he can find me," and Bird replied, "I know where, at the end of the Chicago Bulls bench."
Oh my
the left-handed game. Larry Bird was in the prime of his basketball brilliance in the 85-86 season.
Nah, we gotta fight after that, Larry. We gotta fight after that, gang. We gotta fight after that, because why you have to publicly humiliate me like that? You feel me? Why do you have to publicly humiliate me like that? Why? Why, bro? All I said was you know where you can find me, bro. I'm just trying to challenge you, bro. Like, damn, you just shut down my whole career now, bro. Talk crazy to me.
When he led the Celtics to the title, they lost only 1 game at home throughout the season and the playoffs,
that's crazy,
setting an NBA record with 50-1. The Portland Trailblazers were the only team to defeat the Celtics at home in December, so they were a good bet to win in front of their crowd in February. Before the game, Bird surprised his teammates and journalists by saying that he would shoot all his shots with his left hand, except long jumpers. This was the last game of a long road trip, and Larry would always find new motivations and challenges to get through the monotonous grind of the regular season. In the game against Portland, he'd go on to have one of the most memorable games of his career. He hit a shot to send the game to overtime, and then hit a game winner in the OT. Bird finished the game with 47 points, with 14 rebounds and 11 assists. He scored 22 points with his left hand out of sheer boredom and fun, which tells you how insanely good and confident this guy was.
Yeah.
White guys guarding him. Larry is not white. Larry is clear, said Bill Murray in Space Jam, while explaining Bird's ethnicity to Michael Jordan. Larry Bird had skills for days. He was thinking
I haven't watched Space Jam in since my freshman year of high school, y'all. And that was what, 2017? Yeah, 2017, y'all. Man, it's about to be a whole ass decade.
3 moves in advance.
That's
His
crazy.
jump shot was money. He was nimble at 6'9", but he wasn't by any means an athletic player. Bird suffered from WMCJ syndrome, which stands for White Men Can't Jump, and he was aware of it. On one occasion, he called basketball a black man's game due to the natural ability and athleticism of African-American players. Because of that, he hated when the opposing teams would defend him with another white guy. Bird said that it was disrespectful to his greatness because he was dropping 30 and 40 on the most athletic players in the league. So if you put an unathletic white guy on him, that's barbecue chicken right there.
Nah,
in the trainer's lap.
I ain't gonna lie. It didn't matter if he was white or black, bro. It didn't matter if he was white or black, bro. Larry was putting belt to ass against anyone and everyone. Anyone and everyone, bro. We've seen the footage, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Most of the footage, he was really cooking the black folks. I ain't gonna hold you. He was cooking the African American ones, bro. Out of the highlights we have seen, bro, he was cooking us. You know what I'm saying?
Scoring game in Larry Bird's career came in the 1986 season, in a game against Dominique Wilkins in the Atlanta Hawks. At the beginning of the first quarter, it was obvious that Larry is in the zone. He'd hit everything he threw to the basket, with the announcers repeatedly saying they were watching the greatest shooting exhibition in basketball history. Bird scored 60 on 61% shooting and 15 of 16 on free throws, hitting ridiculous shots over several players.
Oh, yeah, that shot was crazy.
During the game, he suddenly said, "in the trainer's lap," to Hawks players, which meant he would try to make a 3 from the corner near the opposing bench.
Yeah, they was geeking.
Made the shot, and one Hawks player who tried to guard him tripped over and fell exactly into the trainer's lap, just like Bird predicted. The Hawks bench was so amazed that they were laughing and high-fiving each other, totally perplexed by Bird's brilliance. After that, they were fined by their coach Mike Fratello for cheering on the opposing player, tormenting Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was one of the best defenders in NBA history, with quick feet, long arms, and a motor that never shut down. He was a pest, an annoying pest who never stopped guarding, provoking, and getting into everybody's face. He used to be a nightmare for scorers around the NBA. However, when he was just starting out, he needed to get some schooling from Bird. After Larry scored 4 consecutive shots over Rodman, he opened his mean mouth and started destroying Rodman. Bird started yelling at Rodman's coach, Chuck Daly. "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna go for 60. Even though Rodman was almost superglued to him in an effort to deny him the ball, Bird was at his sarcastic best. "I'm open. Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me."
Oh my
Merry
gosh.
effing Christmas. 1990. Larry Bird loved to play against the Indiana Pacers, where he was always greeted as a king. It was where the hick from French Lick grew up, made his first basketball steps, and took Indiana State University to the 1979 NCAA Finals.
Imagine if Larry Bird would have got drafted to the Pacers. That would have been a... Now, obviously, the Celtics already is, like, the story is already beautiful and everything like that, but imagine if he would have went to the Pacers. That would have been fire.
And the game Boston played against the Pacers played on December 26, 1990.
But you can't see I ain't gonna lie, you can't see the Celtics without seeing Larry Bird, so it worked out.
In memory of the Pacers shooting guard, Chuck Rifleman Person. Before the game, Person said to the reporters, "Rifleman is in the building. I'm going bird hunting today." At the tip-off, Bird replied to Person that he has a Christmas present waiting for him. While Chuck sat on a bench during the game, Bird received the ball in the corner and shot a three-pointer. As the ball was flying towards the basket, Bird turned to Person and said, "Merry effing Christmas." The ball, of course, came in without touching the rim, torching the Suns' bench. The best teams in the NBA often coast through the regular season and can lose their edge and focus when playing against mediocre opponents. In one game against the Phoenix Suns, the Celtics lost a double-digit lead and were trailing by 2 in the final seconds. The Celtics had the possession, and they could tie the game and go to overtime, or win it with a 3. Larry knew his Celtics shouldn't be losing a game to the Suns, and he wanted to play no overtime. So he went to the Suns bench and told all the players and coaches what was about to happen. "Yeah, I'm going to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this." Unsurprisingly, he lived up to his word. As the ball was still in the air, he turned towards the Phoenix bench and yelled, "Told you so," as the ball was going through the net. Calling his shot against Xavier McDaniel.
Are we being serious, bro? I'm not really surprised because I've already known Larry Bird, talk greasy. I've been knew that. Before I was even doing these homework videos, y'all. I've been knew that. I've always heard it. You feel me? But man, was he a nasty talker. Nasty. And he backed it up. And you can't do nothing but respect it, bro. No cap, man. Larry the legend.
Xavier McDaniel was one of the most notorious NBA players in the 80s. And on the courts, he liked to get physical, like Olivia Newton-John. When he was playing for the Sonics and the Knicks, nobody was really messing with X-Man. However, Bird was not afraid of a scuffle, and there are multiple stories of Larry participating in bar fights during his NBA career. In a crowded Supersonics arena, Boston and Seattle played a close game tied to...
Let me find out Larry was putting the beast on these folks, man, because I have yet to ever see any type of video of Larry Bird pulling up with a black eye or a fucked up face. I have yet to see it, bro. Let me find out Larry Bird was really whipping shit on the court and off. That would be insane. That would be insane. Don't play with him, bro.
10 seconds before the end. At that point, Celtics coach Casey Jones called a timeout, and Bird confidently told him to just give him the ball and that the others move the hell out of the way. On his way back to the floor, Larry said, "That's exactly where I'll get the ball, and I'll score the game winner in your face," while X-Man replied, "I know you will get it there. I'm waiting for you." Bird received the ball right where he said he would. Made a tough fadeaway shot. After Bird realized there were still 2 seconds left, he told McDaniel, "Damn, I didn't want to leave 2 seconds on the clock," while X-Man walked back to the Sonics bench in disbelief, tormenting a young Clyde.
Yeah, I'd be in disbelief too, I'm not gonna
Before
lie.
Clyde Drexler came into the NBA, he was one of the best players in college basketball, forming the famous Phi Slamma Jamma with Hakeem Olajuwon at the University of Houston. Drexler was selected by the Blazers with the 14th pick in the 1983 NBA draft, and even as a rookie, he was already one of the most athletic guys at his position. However, Bird wasn't impressed. When Drexler subbed in the game against the Celtics, he started guarding Bird. Larry smiled at him and mockingly said, "You can't stop me. You're a rookie. You don't know anything." He would proceed to hit jump shot after jump shot over Drexler before the Blazers coach had mercy on him.
I said, man, and this is a Hall of Famer right here, y'all. This is a Hall of Famer. Clyde was like that, y'all. Y'all know. Clyde was like that. But this is a Hall of Famer he's doing this to. But as a young pup. Bro.
And subbed him out, while Bird was laughing at Clyde on the way to the bench.
Damn, just like that, the video over? Shit, man. Shout out nonstop, man. But yeah, Larry Bird was definitely a savage. Definitely was a savage, yo. Mans was nasty. With his mouth, with his handles, with his shots. with his clutchness, man, it was everything. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Larry Bird, man. That nigga was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, man. But hey, bro, y'all let me know your craziest story of Larry Bird. Something I haven't seen. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. I will be reading.